Okay, I muted myself. Hey guys, it's me, Jessica, corporate recruiter. Normally I talk about job topics. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a mix of job topics, and depending on who comes in here, we'll talk about some other things and answer some different questions. So I'm actually recording this video from my MacBook Pro. The video doesn't look too bad actually, so I'm a little surprised. It looks okay. So anyway, I will go ahead and jump into it with some of the questions. Oh, hey, Latanya, welcome in. How are you? Hey, King of Kill. Hey, teacher. Hello. Hey, Mr. Wise, nice to see you. Oh no, Mr. Wise, I assumed it was probably something like that, or you might have needed to go to work or something. Totally fine. It was nice to have you join. Mr. Wise, I also did shout you out on my community tab as a thank you for joining the chat. So I normally answer different questions out on Reddit. I will follow basically any of the job related tags out there on Reddit. And so that's what I plan to do today. But if people have questions about anything, it could be get to know me better. What does a recruiter typically do, kind of day in the life, or even job related questions, I will answer today. And let me just pull up Reddit. Or I actually can pull it up on my computer too. I might do it that way. So I will come out here and I'll just look at like our resume or our job seeker or our interviews. And so one of the questions I see is, and it's so interesting that these type of questions come up, but first question I see here is, I'm just answering questions on my phone. How to answer, why are you leaving your previous position so soon? So they're saying, to cut to the chase, I started my job as a manager of learning and development. Oh, my world. Okay. You guys know I used to work in learning and development too for a little while. It was at a smaller company. I was excited about the role because it was my first step into a titled leadership position. Okay. And I have been here for 7 months and I've learned so many great things. However, here's where the problem comes in. I have discovered my manager and the VP, vice president, and I reported to, have some ethically questionable values. Everything they do, from my understanding, is legal, and they are not concerned with ethics. Okay, so that's interesting. So not concerned with ethics in the role. I've taken my concerns to them and discussed it, and they made it clear they will not be changing what works for them. That's okay. I get it. That is the world. However, I cannot abide by some of the things that have recently happened, and I am seeking employment outside. So they had a recent interview. They were asked, why are you leaving this position so soon? And I know I stumbled. Oh, it's so sad to hear that. I stumbled, stuttered, and poorly answered the question. I wonder how they answered that question. I have been researching, but cannot seem to find a good way to answer without disparaging a previous company. Just not answering the question at all instead of focusing on what I learned. Any advice? So this is what I'm going to write them from my phone. So here's what I would do. And this is how I answer the question, because I've left a job before where it was less than a year. And you just have to be honest, but not tell too many details, right? So you don't have to go into all of those details. This person has like a paragraph. Yeah, that's the paragraph, right? So you don't have to say all the nitty-gritty details. As a recruiter, I don't care about all those details. It's if I hear that story, I may feel bad for you, or I may just think and question, are you making this up? Like, what's going on? So keep it short and simple. In this scenario, I would just say, the leadership and the company culture was a little different than I expected. And it's caused me to start looking for other companies. And when I came across your position in your company, it really stood out to me because X, Y, and Z. I really like the company branding. The job responsibilities seem to match very well with what I can do and what I've been doing for the past 6 months or 7 months, as she's saying. And, you just sell yourself. So you always think about any question that a recruiter is coming at you with, spin it, like always spin it. So even if it's like, you haven't been doing anything for the past 5 months, right? As far as like work, you can always turn that question around and say, I've been learning how to do X, Y, and Z, which will make me a best match for this job because I know you need this skill or whatever. So in this case, just highlight those things. Just tell it, keep it short and simple. This is why. Don't go into a paragraph because, again, we don't need to know. If anything, that's where I've seen people mess up. I've seen people really mess up because they went into way too many details and it makes the person question, or they offer like things that make them look bad. Like just hearing what I just said, it's like, okay, cool, check. If the hiring manager comes to me and they're like, well, why are they looking to leave? They've been there less than a year. I can say, the culture just isn't right for them. They're looking at this company because of X, Y, and Z. Or if you're saying the culture isn't right, and you know some things about this company's culture, you can say, I'm really looking for, let's say they said, this place is a great place to grow and develop. You have a career path. I'm really looking for a place with a great career path. So that's how you spin it. You turn it around and you make it seem like you're the best candidate for the role. So you're always selling yourself, right? So that's a good question. Let me take a look at some comments. Let me take a break. Mr. Wise is saying hello to the chat. Hey, Edward, how are you? Hey, Barry. I surprisingly never had a Reddit. Really? You know what? People say different things about Reddit. I like Reddit, but I only stick to certain Reddits. Like I will stick to job seeker, job search, interviews, our resume, that sort of thing. So nothing sketchy. Let me see. Edward is saying hello to Barry. Cassandra said that was a good question. Yeah, I think it's a good question. For me, again, I'm in the recruitment and HR world, so I already know what responses don't work well, and I know what responses work well, right? So for me, that was an easy one. So why are you leaving? Let me actually write that in here. I would say that I am looking to leave the company because I do want to help. I want to share what I just said to you guys. Leave the company because the culture was not as I expected. Then proceed to talk about why the company is a good match for you. Short and sweet. All right, let's move on to another question. Oh, let me see here. Yes, please do. As you come into the live, please do hit the thumbs up button. These are some great tips. Thank you, teacher. I appreciate that. And hello, Hamza or Amran. Please let me know if I'm butchering your name. I'm so sorry. I butchered many people's names. Is Reddit a worthy thing? Reddit is pretty cool if you want to ask people questions. Basically, if you want to understand what other people think in your community and get some quick responses, it's a great place to look. I've seen people put their resume on there. I've seen people ask general questions like this. This question is asking, what would make you stay in a company for a long time? I think that's a different type of question because it just depends on the person. People are different, but what I've seen working in human resources is that generally people will stay at a company long term if they have 3 things. So the first thing is that they see a career path for themselves. They actually are getting opportunities to work on different projects, do things that interest them, and they can actually see themselves on a progression. They can see even people that look like them on the progression. So let's say I'm a woman, or even if you think of a Black person, Hispanic person, Asian person, whatever, seeing someone that looks like them and that they've achieved, and even maybe having a connection with them in some way, that can keep you there. So seeing that path for yourself, that's one. The second thing is going to be the culture. Like, is the culture inclusive within either the company or your direct team? You have like a good manager, you have good people that you work with. That keeps a lot of people at companies because they don't want to leave good people, a good manager, because when you leave one company, you move to another company, you just don't know. It's a big question mark on what you're going to get, what kind of people you're going to be around. And that's a majority of a lot of people's job. And then the third thing is definitely going to be compensation. If people feel like they're compensated well, they're going to stay. Now, sometimes people leave a company solely because they know that they're being underpaid. And in those cases, sometimes people will come back because everything else was good. And finally, the company will say, we're willing to pay you so much more to get you back. So I would say those three things. So if you can see that career growth and progression, that's number one. Number two, the people that you're around, your manager, your teammates, if they're good, if that culture and that team environment is good for you. And then the third thing is definitely compensation, because of course, what are we going to work for? We're not going to work just for funds, it's not just for fun. So for most people, unless you're a millionaire or something. Let me see here, Reddit or Quora? Yeah, I've seen Quora too. I like Reddit because it's a little more engaging. People can post, links, they can post a video, they can do whatever on there. And a lot more people, at least I've seen, engage on Reddit. So just personal preference. I think you can look at Quora too. I personally am not on Quora though. I don't really look at Quora. Even when I ask a question and the Quora comes up, I'm like, it doesn't really fully answer my question in most cases. So, I am not the one that normally posts out there on Reddit. I go to Reddit to see how I can answer other people's questions. I'm not typically on Reddit. At least not for myself, not to find out information for myself. I'm there to see, okay, what are people talking about? What do people want to know? Again, job related topics. And I will share what I can. Hey, Paulindo, what's for dinner? I actually ate, I guess I ate lunch last dinner, maybe. I ate some actually seafood. I had some salmon, smoked salmon, and I had some like peppers and garlic mix that I just sauteed, put that on top of the salmon. And I had some tater tots, because I just like tater tots. So tater tots, fries, I always try to add in a little bit into my meal. So it could be a healthy meal and I'll be like, oh, I just want a little bit of fries. So that's what I have for dinner. And yeah, feel free to ask me any questions. It can be job related, it could be about my dinner. That's totally fine. And thank you for saying hello to everybody. Okay, well, I don't see any questions yet, so I'm gonna move back to Reddit. But yeah, that's my answer to that question. I guess I can comment. Let me go ahead and make my comment here. What would make you stay? 1, career growth. 2, good people, manager and team. And then 3, good compensation. Good money, money, money. Okay, add in my comment. There we go. Okay, so next question. Oh yes, smoked salmon is good. And you guys know I'm vegan. Well, actually, I might have an update for you guys because I am slowly I'm like moving away from veganism because, well, one, I actually did a drink where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to add honey because I need my voice to get better, and it really helped. So, and then that made me go like, do I really want to be vegan? So I'm in that phase where I'm moving a little bit away from veganism. All right, let me see. Oh my goodness, what is this about? Okay, so this is Reddit get employed. Oh my goodness, this is like I'm going to show you. This is a whole story. Like, that is a whole story. What in the world? I'm not reading that. I'm going to read the title though, because it says, boss is lying through her teeth and I don't know where to go or how to market myself going forward. What, honey? I can't. Barry says, don't worry, I will always be vegan. So you were good. Oh, you'll be vegan for me? Is that how that works? Well, I appreciate you, Barry. Thank you. You'll be vegan for me. Yeah, me, I'm like, I don't know about this vegan life. Okay. This person is saying, this is so Reddit job search hacks. That's resume review sites that give great feedback, constructive criticism for free. I mean, a recruiter? Like what? Give it to a recruiter. Give it to someone that you know. It could be free or you pay for it. I don't really think there's an online version that actually has someone review your resume because you would want a person to review it, right? At least I would think so. Wouldn't you guys want an actual person to review your resume? That's my perspective. So I don't know. I don't know with that one. I would just give it to a friend you trust or someone that works in the HR field, honestly. King of Kill says, why did I want to go vegan? So there were a couple reasons why I wanted to go vegan. One was that I was already pescatarian, and so I just wanted to try not like eating less seafood and seeing if I could like do fully vegan. I don't think I really thought I would 100% cut out fish and seafood, but I wanted to incorporate more like veggies and just solely, eat fruits and vegetables. Now, the other part of that was the health, like the health benefits. I saw this lady, her name is Annette Larkins, I believe. And then I also see the singer Maya, and they're both vegan. I think Annette Larkins, though, that lady is a raw food vegan. Like she's like, she has a whole garden. And there was this video I saw of her multiple times where this news crew, they like showcase her and she's like 72 or something. And her husband is like maybe 2 or 3 years older than her, but it's a total different. Like she looks like she could legit be 40 and she's 72. And he looks like he's 70 something, right? He looks, gray hair, he's bigger, he's got, wrinkles and things. And her skin looks very vibrant. She speaks very vibrantly. She has all this energy. She's just a vibrant person. And Maya, the singer, she looks phenomenal, very beautiful woman. And I believe she's 40. Like, I know she's a lot older than me. So yeah, but she looks great. She looks like she could be 25 or 30, like skin flawless, really nice glow to her skin, her hair, everything's healthy. So I really wanted to incorporate a lot of those benefits into my day-to-day. And I thought veganism would be a great way to do that if I am cutting out, a lot of I shouldn't say trash because it's not like meat is necessarily trash, but there's other things as well. So it wasn't like a save the planet, save the animals type of thing. I do care for animals, I care for the planet, but it wasn't like I'm going to go vegan because people are still going to eat meat. So, but that was my reason. Good question, King of Kill. Thank you for that. Palina says I'm vegan and carnivores too. I'm both. I think, most people should be both, but I have met some folks. I've met this guy. He literally ate only pretty much carbs. He ate meat and carbs, like meat, potato, meat, bread. And I don't understand how that works. Paulina's laughing. Paulina said, I planted a tree of steaks and sausages. You are so funny. I bet people wish they could do that because, meat prices go up really high. There's a lot of cost savings too when you go vegan. Well, ish. There's a lot of cost savings because you're not buying the meat, which meat is expensive. And so you're buying like fruits and veggies, which if you directly cook your own food, it's cheap. But when you go to vegan restaurants or you get, some of the kind of processed meals, things like that are vegan, then that's where you have to spend a little more money. Welcome, Partly Cloudy. Cassandra said, do you feel satisfied as a recruiter or would you explore other HR opportunities, such as a business partner, if you had not already done so? So let me tell you a little bit about the story. So I started out working as a recruiter, corporate recruiter, and from there, I moved into more of a D&I role. I was kind of like a HR project manager. I had D&I responsibilities. I had learning and development responsibilities. I was working with our IT groups to push HR projects through to fruition to execution. And as a part of that, I also ran a D&I program where I recruited talent across the United States within the PR or public relations space. So I did that for a while, and then I moved into an HR business partner role. I would say it was a mix of business partner and HR generalist duties. You know what, I like some aspects of being an HR business partner, but I didn't really like that. I always felt like there wasn't enough I could do as a HR business partner at the place I was at. So I don't think where I worked was really a match for me to be an HR business partner, because I didn't really feel like I could really implement a lot of positive change with how we did things. So yeah, I think I would explore, though. Let me go back up here. I would explore another aspect of HR, because after I worked as an HR business partner, I moved into learning and development. I was a learning and development partner at a retail company. And, I liked it. I led orientations to large classes of people. So anywhere from 20 to, I think my largest group was like in the 30s or closer to 40. Like, we were cramped in the room. And I would lead communications and other soft skills training. I also worked with different vendors to have hard skills training as well. And so, yeah, I did all of those things. And sorry, this is my Instagram. I did all of those things and I really enjoyed it. So if I was to move into another space outside of recruitment, I'd probably move into D&I or diversity and inclusion again, or I would do something in learning and development again, or I might also try, if I wanted to be more of a technical person, I would try HRIS. I just don't know I really have the mind for that, or I would enjoy that. I mean, I think I could do it. I just don't know if I would enjoy it as much, because when you're working in HR systems, you're literally working with the system more so than working with people. And I am a people person. I do like talking to folks. Something I missed when I was a trainer was the amount of time I was spending making trainings. Like, I wasn't talking to people. I was on the computer building out trainings and curriculum. And the times that I loved the most were when I was actually in a classroom and, leading orientations, meeting new people, helping managers build out orientation schedules for new hires and things like that. So I noticed that I really did thrive from talking to people. And so the best role that does that is a recruiter, because you're on the phone, you're talking to people, you're offering new opportunities to them, you're playing matchmaker. So that's just a part that I have fun with. My next step beyond this, maybe 5-10 years out, I'd probably be a career coach and solely just help job candidates, because that's more where my heart is. My heart is always with the candidates. And as a recruiter, I can really do that because it brightens my day whenever I hear a candidate say, oh my gosh, you were so helpful throughout this process. They got the job and everything. They're just like, this happened 2 weeks ago. This girl told me, like, thank you so much. I just have to say, you really helped me through this process, all the advice and everything, making this process just easier, because I know how overwhelming it can be as a job candidate. That's a part of why I built this channel, because I was just like, there are things that people just don't know, and they should know, because it can help them. There's like little things, sometimes bigger things, that can really help folks get the job that they're looking for and make the process even a little easier for, because, job searching is overwhelming. It is literally a job. It is a job for sure. Hey, Sharky, welcome in. How are you? Barry saying hi to everybody. Let me catch up here, see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Sharky is like, Barry, all caps. You guys are so funny. D&I. Oh, Sharky. So let me put it in the chat, because that is an HR term. It's So it's D&I. And what it stands for is just diversity and inclusion. You may also see this one. You may also see diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's basically going to be the person or a group of people within HR or human resources that will help really push forward different strides that the company will want to make with making their workplace more inclusive, with hiring talent that is diverse. So making sure that you're hiring veterans, for example, or people, with military backgrounds, people with disabilities, or differently abled people, diverse from an ethnic standpoint. So Black, Asian, Hispanic, these different groups, right? In addition to what is probably typical. Because the thing is, when I say, ethnic groups, like looking at those groups, is because a lot of times when you look at the workplaces, those groups of people are not as commonly seen in the workplace. So a lot of people, I don't know, I think of it as affirmative action, but it's really not. It's your customers are diverse. How do you make your teams more diverse so that you can better support and better provide for your customers, right? Because we've seen very big money killing mistakes that companies have made. And if they had just had more diversity within their teams and diversity that was comfortable speaking up and speaking out and actually listened to, most likely those mistakes would not have happened. Where they have this uproar from the community because those are their customers, right? But it's because a lot of times the customer base, which is diverse, typically, like think about Coca-Cola. Who buys Coca-Cola? Everybody. I mean, not me, but a lot of people do across the world. And these companies have done many things, and they have these oops moments that could have been solved by just having a more diverse team. And other things come from diversity and inclusion, having better diversity and inclusion programs, like having more innovation, getting away from things like groupthink and, things like that. And then also including people from different backgrounds, so different experience backgrounds and such. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into diversity and inclusion. It's not an easy job. You're a lot of times trying to change people's thinking and train them as well on what does it mean to be, what does unconscious bias mean? What are some things that you can do to address those things? What are the benefits of having more diverse teams and things of that nature? So you're really changing thinking. As well. So there's some training and development aspects to it. There's some recruitment aspects to it. There's some HR aspects to it because you're helping to build a more diverse and inclusive type of culture for everybody, right? So yeah, so it's pretty cool. I probably went pretty into depth with that, but I wanted to make sure you understood that fully. Cassandra said you have a great personality, so you can fit anywhere within HR. Oh, thank you, Cassandra. That's so nice. I appreciate it. I would like to think so. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Paolindo. Paolindo just brought up DMX. Rest in peace to DMX for sure. I saw the sad news today. His life was just, I was telling my mom earlier today about him because she didn't know that at an early age he was introduced to drugs by someone that he thought was like his big brother or his mentor. It's just so sad. But you know what? I hope he can, now rest and is in a better place. That's all I can say on that. Sharky says, well, that's great and long overdue. I've seen EEOC boilerplates, but good to see HR people are actively looking for diverse candidates, not just protecting against discrimination. Well, yes, and there is that aspect too. There's definitely groups. I've done some of that work myself, as far as the EEOC work and, the reporting and making sure that you have certain language in your descriptions and you are keeping track of your good faith efforts on what you're doing to hire diverse talent and things like that. So yes, or women. Women are probably the biggest pool that benefits from D&I efforts and affirmative action and stuff. Women in general, and then the other groups, military veterans, differently abled people, and then, obviously different ethnic groups. Sharky said, yeah, rip to him, Paolindo. I'm not into rap much, but I respect that he was respected as a talent in the industry. Yes, you know what? I didn't hear a ton of his rap. I wasn't a heavy DMX, fan, but I remember his music, from the 90s. He made a song with Aaliyah, he's made different songs. And I had seen the video of him rapping kind of freestyle, and I think it was Dr. Phil, and he was definitely a kind of deep thinker. And so he definitely had his troubles with the industry, which he put into his poetry or his rap. I know. Okay. So I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to go back to Reddit. So let's see what folks are talking about. So I answered that question about the resume review sites. Again, I wouldn't use resume review sites, to be honest. I had this scenario, and I actually talked about it on my channel here, where this girl, it was very clear that she used one of those sites to have a template resume or something, and it didn't catch everything. So she had little templated language in there of insert, specific experience here, insert skill here. So I definitely don't recommend doing that. And for anyone that's coming in, this is Ask Me Anything. It can be job related. It can be not job related today. So it can be whatever is on your mind, whatever you're interested in. All right. Some of these things are funny. Some of these are very long too. I'm who is going to read all of that? Come on. Come on. I'm going to go to Reddit interviews. I'm just going to go in there, narrow this down a little bit. Okay, let's see. Oh no. Well, I want to look at this one because it says interview frustration. Hey everyone, I'm new to this sub and figured this was the best place to express my frustration. Since the pandemic started, I've been trying to figure out how to change my career from a bar manager to something more customer service operations oriented in a 9-to-5 setting. I've had 3 interviews over the last 2 months. I usually make it to the final round or close to it, but always get rejected at the end. How can I make myself more appealing to the recruiter since most employers don't believe restaurant managers have applicable skills for an office job? Also, what related phrases and skills can I add to my resume that are transferable from a restaurant to the office? So if you're looking, okay, so I'll answer this question. So this person is trying to transition or make the transition from a bar manager to a customer service or operations oriented role. So one, you guys know me. My first thing with this person is going to be, you need to network. Everybody that you know, find out where they work and find out if those jobs are hiring customer service related or operations related jobs. And then, use your network, use them to refer you. That's the number one thing, because referrals get a push throughout any stage of the process. They get a little bump. So that's the first thing. I would say, definitely review your resume, but it sounds like what the issue is. I always like to hear the full story, because it seems like what the issue is here is the interview. So he's saying that the final round, you make it to the final round or close to it, but you always get rejected at the end. One, I would say definitely ask for feedback. Now, a lot of recruiters will not provide feedback solely because they can't. There's typically a company policy around it, especially for larger companies, because they do not want to get sued. They don't want to get a lawsuit, right? They don't want someone coming and saying well, I think I was discriminated against, or they don't want kind of this back and forth, because some people will say, you give them some feedback and they're like, well, no, that's not what happened. And I did this, and give me another chance. And it's like the decision has been made. It's made. You did have your chance. We have to move on. We have to move on from this. So that's why a lot of people don't give the feedback. But some recruiters will provide even a little bit of feedback to you. Now, the other thing I would say is to do some mock interviews and use your recruiter. I did a quick 1-minute video. If you haven't checked that out, please do. But I was talking about using your recruiter. And a lot of people, I literally tell candidates, I'm like, hey, I'm going to call you tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions about your interview, and I'll have some information for them of like, be ready, follow up to the email with all the information, prep materials, interviewer names, all this stuff, right? What type of interview is going to be. I would have already told them that, but I tell them multiple times throughout the process and what it looks like. But I will literally call them like, hey, you ready for your interview tomorrow? Well, keep in mind these things. Do you have questions for me? And some people are like, no, I'm good. I'm good. A lot of times those folks don't do as well during interviews. The people that actually have questions, ask me for additional feedback. Like, is there anything you can tell me? Anything more you can tell me? Any tips or anything? And that actually gets me to add in more. I'll be like, okay, well, I can't tell you the questions that you're going to be asked, but just think about what we talked about during our conversation. Think about the job. Think about, these are the specific things that are going to be really important. So you want to have examples ready about with these scenarios that you can talk about. So I will provide all that context. So for this person, use the recruiter before this interview. Do a prep interview if you need to. Really understand what that interview process is going to look like, and make sure that you're matched. Now, in this case, it could just be that they might have just had a lot of job candidates and they picked another person because maybe they had something different from you that they wanted. Who knows? But, I think a good question is to always ask, is there anything that, that you feel based on this conversation is missing from my experience, or, would not make me a match for the job? That can be a good question, because when you ask that, a lot of times hiring teams will open up and share with you some details. All right, let me look at the comments. I see some stuff going on in here. Oh, okay. Yes, I did hear about Prince Philip as well. I heard about that this morning, and I don't stay as close to the English, but I did see that this morning. So rest in peace to him. I think he was 99? Oh, he was nearly 100 years old. Yes. So, but yes, I mean, definitely thoughts to the Queen, because I know that is a really tough thing to deal with. The Prince Philip thing angered me a little, and that some newscasters were calling his death a tragedy and wondering about the cause of death. Oh, he was nearly 100 years old. No tragedy there. Yeah, it's like nothing actually. Yeah, it was like, I'm sure the family had prepared for that time, had prepared for, the instance of if he passed away or when he passed away, right? I mean, once you get into the 90s, right? I mean, rest in peace to Philip also, but seriously, yeah, no, I get it. Rice and Beans is saying, thoughts on calling the company after you apply online to get in touch with HR to introduce yourself. Maybe spark up some positive vibe combo and schedule an interview. So here's the thing with that, and I talked about that in another video. If you're talking restaurant or something, or like a small business, that could work. When you're trying to do that with a large company, like a multinational company or something, or think of Facebook, Twitter, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, you're probably not going to be able to do that. You're most likely not going to be able to just call up someone and talk to a recruiter. Most likely you call a company and they're going to tell you to apply online or check out the career site online. It's just because it's just typical protocol. They don't typically have a direct person that answers all questions. Now, sometimes you can, if you call business, sometimes that does work. Sometimes you can call up and get a person and you talk to them. But even when you talk to that person, most likely they're going to refer you to, look online and see what's available. Because, and again, when you think of these larger companies, there's not just one person managing all of the jobs. There's not just one, like me, Jessica, is not managing the hundreds and hundreds of openings that a company has. So I'll get the question of, do you have any opening? I'm like, I don't know. I have to find out what you're interested in. And I'm probably I'm not managing hundreds of jobs, So you should probably check the website, see if there's something of interest to you. And then once you're actually talking to someone, then you can kind of get some tips, maybe get some insights. Maybe they'll direct you to someone that's working at a job if they have that information. But a lot of times we have to look that person up. If you think about, for me, while working at Nestle, there were different departments of recruiters that handled different jobs. So I handled certain jobs. A team of about 30 people handled other jobs, right? And then we had yet another team that handled other jobs and for our other brands. And so, I didn't know all of those people, So if you were to call me up, Rice and Beans, and say, hey, you hiring for this and that, I would need some time to look it up. So I don't want people to really spin their wheels, which just trying to get a hold of someone. The best bet is to figure out if you know someone in that company. They can do that more than you can because you're an outsider, right? But yeah, if you know someone, then they can do some of that work for you. I hope that makes sense. Edward's saying hello, everybody. Okay. And thank you, Edward. Yes, please do hit the like button as you come in here. All right. Where was I going with this one? Oh, and they're saying, what related phrases and skills can I add to my resume? Well, definitely they should be adding customer related skills, client, customer, communication, right? Problem solving, all these different things that you do for customer support. But then also I would tell this person to look at the job description that you're applying to. And you should be only applying to the jobs that you feel like you closely match the most. Don't spin your wheels and apply to every single thing you come across. That's just not effective. Apply to those things that you see that you match really well and you feel even that your resume lines up perfectly with the job. Now, you may still get a rejection, you may still get a no, but you're more likely not to when you do that. So definitely make sure you're using some of the same verbiage that they're using, right? So if they're saying customer support and your resume says customer service, just tweak it to customer support instead. It's the same thing. Use different synonyms. It makes sense. I feel like networking is really the only way to help bypass the online systems and formalities. Yes, that's why I talk about networking all of the time. All the time. Because I'm trying to get it through people's heads. I'm like, you have to, because, and people will think that they don't know people. If you're 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and beyond, some people and a good number of people. You just need to sit down, literally, I would tell you to sit down, start thinking, open your Facebook, even if you have to, go through your phone contacts and start writing the names. It's going to start with the people that you have been talking to more frequently. And it's probably going to grow from people that you haven't talked to in such a long time. Maybe a year from now, you haven't talked to them, but they're in your network. Maybe you went to school with some folks. Maybe you were in a athletic group with some folks. Maybe you had a mentor from college, maybe whatever. It could even be people that provide services to you. Your nail girl, your hair girl, your whatever. And I know, Rice and Beans, you may not have a hair and nail person, but all these different things, all these different people that you interact with on the regular, they can actually help you to find a new opportunity. Or if they can't help you, they may be able to connect you with another person that can. So just think about it that way. Yesterday I was talking about who do you know? The 5 W's or whatever. Who do you know? Who do they know? What do they do? Where do they work? How can they help you? All of that. So that's what you should know and what you should think about when it comes to networking. Sharky says, I was just going to say, if you know the actual hiring manager or someone close to him or her, otherwise large firms' HR department is a monolith matrix. Exactly. There's just a lot going on, There's a lot going on. And, it's not like this. In an ideal world, there'd be like this one person that you reach out to and they just look at the job for you and they support, the people that are interested in jobs, but that's just not realistic. So I just don't want people to start, to be spinning their wheels, spending all this time doing things that just don't work, right? How do you create an opportunity for a position that doesn't exist in your company that they need? The easiest way is you actually do the job. You actually start doing the job yourself. So a lot of times when that happens, that's where it starts. There's a need and someone does that job. And then people start noticing you have the visibility of, and then you track that time that you're spending doing that additional job, like your work and then this additional job, and recognize the importance of this job, make sure other people know the importance of the job. And then you come with that information, you know, you talk to your manager, talk to whoever, it may be multiple people that you need to talk to, and really highlight that you're enjoying that. You may even need to pull in your HR manager if they're, and I know sometimes HR managers, not everyone that works in HR is great at working in HR, right? But you know, if you feel like you can trust your HR manager and they will help you, you can even talk to them. But you should be able to come and say, this is the amount of time that I'm spending doing this other project, doing this other role, basically, and show that your interest is to move into that role full time, and start that discussion that way of, can this be a real position for you? I've had that discussion before. I actually ended up leaving a company because realistically, I actually moved into an L&D role because the existing company, they said that would never, like, they just couldn't feasibly take on the cost of having someone that solely managed L&D. It just wasn't a high priority for that company at the time. So, which made sense. So I moved to something else where I could do L&D or learning and development job 100%. So good question. I hope that was helpful, Anthony. Let me know if you would like more insight into that or if that's helpful. Cassandra said, was it a long process for you to get on at your current job? No, not at all. So what happened with Nestle is and again, I use networking. So I was laid off from a retail company where I was working as a learning and development partner. Half of my team, like half of the talent development department was laid off. And I actually was one of the lucky ones. I found a job within like 3 to 4 weeks, was in the role. Like I was in the next job within 3 to 4 weeks of when I lost that job. So, I mean, I really did luck out, but here's what happened. I talked to people that I knew, and let them know that I had been laid off. I was looking for a job. I even reached out to connections on LinkedIn, face to face. This was pre-pandemic, so I was meeting up with people. I also connected with my former manager, who was also laid off, and the head of that department. They offered themselves as references to me as well. And I actually connected with some past colleagues. One of my past colleagues said, "Oh, well, I'm working at Nestle right now. They're looking for recruiters. Come on board." And she sent me the information. I sent her my resume. After she showed me the job description, I was like, yeah, this sounds good. And so, yeah, I interviewed and everything, and it was pretty straightforward process. Now, their recruitment was quicker. There are some companies where their recruitment process is very not as straightforward, and so it's a little delayed. So it may take you a little bit longer to land the job, just because you have to have more interviews. But when the interviews process is a little more streamlined, it's a lot quicker. So yeah, that was the process for getting that job. I will actually have some news for you soon about something different, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. So just some interesting news to come, but it's good news. So great question. Alrighty, going back to Reddit. All right, let's see what's on here. This one says help needed. I'm scared. Okay, this is a good one. Can anyone give me tips for a Zoom group interview? And again, keep in mind, you can ask me other questions. It does not have to be job related. It can be really ask me anything. Can anyone give me tips for a Zoom group interview? I have a group interview followed by an individual interview, all via Zoom for my dream graduate job in HR. I have had little experience in participating in group interviews and a little more skeptical since it's over Zoom. Any tips would be appreciated. I forgot to mention they are also planning group activities for this interview. That is a strange interview. I wonder what job this is. First of all, it's a group interview. I don't like the idea of having group interviews, but I think one-on-one is better. Let me do something really quick. I like this banner. Oh, well, I'll leave it alone. But okay, let's get into this one. Okay, so group Zoom interview. So with a group interview, the first thing I would say is just you definitely want to make sure you have a good agenda. Like you should know who are the people that you're meeting with and what are their job titles. So if the recruiter does not offer that to you, be sure to ask for that information. And you want to make a note to yourself so that you can know who is who. I don't know. They didn't say how many people. Yeah, they don't say how many people will be in the group interview. But, a nice tip will be to note the person's name, just so you don't mix anything up. Like you can just write, this person, they're wearing this color or whatever helps you. So that way you can actually say the person's name when you respond back to them. And you can also, it'll also help you remember that you need to be addressing each of them, like giving eye contact to each of them as you're answering a question. So if I'm one of the interviewers and I ask you a question, definitely do not just direct that question solely to me, like you're only looking at me, right? Okay. Sorry, totally distraction. Total distraction. But yeah, you're not only looking at me, you're also looking at, so this is what I would do, and da 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 da. Like you're kind of looking across the interview teams, because that can be a little awkward too for the interviewers. So that's just something to keep in mind. As far as just Zoom meetings in general, you definitely want to make sure, since it's a virtual video interview, that you're fully dressed. You don't want any kind of issues there. So you have some comfortable yet professional type of wear. This is not an example of that. I literally threw on this blazer because I was like, it's a strapless one. So I didn't want to come on here looking any kind of way. So, but you would want to wear like a blouse. Let's say I had this blazer on, but I have like a blouse on underneath. So you want to keep in mind your dress. And then the other thing is to make sure you're in a place where you have good internet connection. The other thing is you would want to have a place where you have some pretty good silence, like you don't have kids running around, things like that. You want to be cognizant of your background. So like, let's say I had a DMX poster back here, that might be a little distracting for someone, right? So I wouldn't have a space like that. Or if there was a lot of clutter behind me, just a mess, like a hurricane looks like happened behind me, I wouldn't show that. I wouldn't want to show that on video, right? So I'm gonna put that on silent. But yeah, so I would want to make sure I have a pretty clean background with less distractions. Also, keep in mind your pets for Zoom or video meetings as well. Cats, dogs, whatever, sometimes they jump up on couches or wherever you're at. So just make sure that stuff isn't happening, because the distractions, I say, be aware of that, because not just for the interviewer it can be distracting, but most importantly for you it can be distracting. So like if my fluffy dog came and jumped on my lap, it may take my mind off of what I was just about to answer in a question. So do things that will make you the most comfortable, but then also make sure things look pretty professional. The other thing is to, if you haven't used Zoom before, test out the technology. Always test out the technology. Even if you're like, oh, I've used it before. No, just test it out, make sure things are okay. And then you'll want to join the interview a little bit earlier, just to make sure everything's good. Like, technology, you just never know. Sometimes things go haywire. Even if you've used this thing 100 million times, something happens and then you may have to have a question. The other thing is to know, if you do have a technical issue, know who you go to. Typically that's going to be your recruiter. But just know ahead of time, like, who is your contact. If you have a technical issue, the recruiter should tell you, like, hey, reach out to me if you have any issues. But sometimes you actually have a technical contact that you might need to go to. So just make sure of all of that. And then of course, practice. Do a mock interview. Just practice. Group interviews are tough though. I would say because it kind of feels like a 3-on-1. So I think the thinking has to change for you. You have to think of it as this is a business consultation. Don't think of it as an interrogation because it can be hard to not think of it that way when you have 3 people. It's kind of like a panel against one person, almost, but just know it's just a group conversation. They're looking to get to know you. And so you're just there to share and pretty much confirm for them why you're going to be such a great match for the job opportunity. So yeah, let me see here. Sharky is saying, what is the subreddit you're referencing? So this one is our interviews. Can anyone give me tips for a Zoom group interview? That's the one I'm looking at right now. But I'm looking at a bunch of them. So I was looking at our job search, and then I think I did our resume for a second. And does it have breakouts for individual fields like finance? You know what? I don't know, but you could probably just search our finance and see if there's anything there. I don't see any, but maybe. Let me see. Let me just check. I'll go back and see. I don't think I'm following any of that. Let's see, our finance. Let me see, finance interviews maybe. Let me see if there's something for that. There's finance investments. Yeah, there's finance investments. I don't see anything for finance interviews. Finance resumes? Nope. Job search? Oh, there's an R finance jobs. There's this one. It only has 8 members though, but 5 of them are online. So maybe that'll grow. Maybe you can grow that one. Let's see. For men, is a suit and tie necessary for a Zoom interview? I'm thinking yes for finance, but seems a bit odd. So here's the thing. I always recommend asking your recruiter what is the dress. Like, you can tell them, I'm thinking about wearing either a suit and a tie or, a button-up shirt and, slacks or whatever. And ask them what would be the better, just ask them what their suggestion would be based on, just so it doesn't sound silly, based on the company culture and company dress. Like, what would the interviewers be expecting? And so sometimes they'll be like I've actually used this myself. I've been like, okay, so, I was having an interview and I knew that I was going to have a next interview. They were telling me, okay, the next interview would be this and this, blah, blah, blah. So I was just like, okay, so would something similar to this be good, or should I dress it up a little more? And they were like, oh, no, you're good. We have a very casual dress environment. Like, a shirt like this black shirt I'm wearing would be fine. So I was like, okay, cool. Now I still dressed up. I still kept it professional. I had a blouse with a blazer on, but, it just depends on really, I think, what makes you the most comfortable. Because even though that guy said, like, yeah, I could wear something a little more casual versus dressy, for me, and knowing an interview, I always want to look my best. So even if they're saying casual is fine, dress it up a little bit, but to your comfort. Like, if a suit and tie is too much for you, which I can imagine, I wouldn't want to wear it. I've seen people be very uncomfortable in suit and tie, sweating and just everything else. Don't wear a suit and tie if it's going to make you feel uncomfortable. But just, dress it up. Dress top is probably fine in most cases. But again, you have to think of that balance. Do not wear a suit and tie if you are not comfortable in a suit and tie. If a suit and tie does not make you comfortable, do not wear it. If a dress up top and khakis makes you more comfortable and makes you feel you're most confident, then wear it. If a suit and tie makes you most comfortable and confident, wear the suit and tie. It just depends. But yeah, for Zoom interviews, you still want to dress as if it is a normal interview, But you can always ask if you're feeling like, okay, is this going to be too stuffy? Based on the company culture and everything. So we are not offended. As a recruiter, I am never offended when someone's asked me, hey, what should I dress? What should my dress look like? I'm always like, thank you for asking, because on the other end, I've had people where they dress casual. I'm talking, and literally, this is recent. I'm talking tennis shoes, a polo top, just too short of something. Like, I've seen a mix of everything. Just like, why didn't you just ask me? I would have told you. Because again, recruiters, we're here for you. I mean, a good recruiter will tell you, yay or nay, and give you a little tips. That's literally what our job entails, is to help you and to help you get the job. If you're the best fit, we want to give you the best chance at letting that hiring team see that you are the right person for the job. We're not going to sabotage you or not give you the right information. Cassandra says, do hiring managers screening committees from or frown upon individuals who do not send a follow-up thank you letter after the interview? I always send one to cover my bases. I think a thank you letter is always a good idea, Cassandra. I think that's a great question. Yes, if you can write a thank you, definitely write a thank you letter. I don't think it's like a must do. I know a lot of recruiters and career folks out here will say always send a thank you note. I say if you can, great. Let's say you didn't have the person's information, you could always send a thank you note to the recruiter and ask them to forward it along. But oftentimes, what it does is just reinforces, or is like a nice touch. But most of the time, right after the interviews, the team pretty quickly kind of has in their mind who they want and who they don't want. And then we'll regroup, and then, with the recruiter, and they'll make that decision, that final decision. Sometimes it takes a couple of days. Sometimes it's like the same day of the interviews. It just depends. But yeah, I would say yes, in most cases it's great to send a thank you note. But if you forgot to send a thank you note, if you couldn't send it directly to them for whatever reason, maybe you didn't have their contact details, I wouldn't beat yourself up on it. It's just a nice touch. It's kind of like sending a present, and you had it with wrapping paper, but you could have put a bow on it. You want to put a bow on it because it's a nicer touch, right? I don't know if that was a good analogy, but I tried. Sharky says, great question. And thank you, Edward. Yes, please do. Please do work on that like button, please. I appreciate it. And if you have not checked out my 1-minute video from earlier today, please do check it out. Giving some quick advice from the car. It reminded me of my earlier videos when I was just starting out. Okay, let me see here. Oh, you know what I got out of that Reddit? Let me see. Let me go to this subreddit. Let's see. Oh, interesting. This is an interesting question. I don't know if I want that one though. Oh, something went wrong. What happened? Hold on, let me refresh my phone. If anyone has questions outside of jobs, let me know. Oh no, this is another customer service person. Oh, they actually added their resume on here. Okay. So they're saying, I have been unemployed for a year now. That is tough. My heart goes out to them. They're looking for a job that's not customer service. My resume is below. So it looks like they worked as a clerk. Oh, they're in New York. Oh my goodness. New York is going through it. Okay. They worked USPS. Okay. Customer service as an airline. Yeah. See, for them, their best bet, because their background is clerk, customer service agent, flight coordinator. So their best options to get a job is going to be either customer service or sales or administrative or coordinator type of positions. Those are the three jobs that come to mind when I see this person's resume, because it is very focused on customer service. And if you've been out of work for a year, to my video from yesterday, you have to be a little open. You might have to jump back into customer service so that you can find a job and you can be doing something, because the longer, here's the thing, the longer you wait for the next job, right? The more questionable it's going to be. Now, yes, we have the pandemic. I think a lot of people understand that, but there are still people that ask, why do you have this gap in employment? So it's easier for you to get a different job when you are already working a job. So if you're unemployed for a year now, you're looking for a job, you need to be open to customer service, or the transferable skills that you would have, again, would be sales. It would be sales or administrative, or maybe you could do some testing, the cough testing jobs. Oh yes, and I my cough is gone, so I'm good. I feel better now. Still kind of a itchy, scratchy throat, but way better. Okay, I'm gonna type this in here for him. I'm gonna put in here customer service jobs. Consider customer service. They're probably gonna get mad at me. Customer service, sales, and or I'm gonna say and or administrative and coordinator type of openings or type of jobs. That's what I think based on his resume. I also do some telephone support type of jobs, not quite customer service. Let me see here. Cassandra says trying to get some of her, get her some more knowledge. Cool. Thank you. You trying to get yourself some more knowledge. Okay. I was thinking that's what you're saying, but then I was like, huh? I know how it is with these chats, because I was typing someone today on Instagram because they were at a restaurant that I really like in St. Louis. And I was like, oh, I love that place. And then my autocorrect changed it to, I live that place. I'm just now when I want to say love, you change it to live. When I'm trying to say live, you change it to love. What is my phone? See, she be playing games, phone be playing games. Anyway, let's see what else is on here. And I have been on here for an hour. I'll probably get off of here shortly. But happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday. I hope someone's doing something fun for the weekend. Wait, did I look at this one already? Interviews with prospective employers. I'm looking at this one. So I recently went on an interview with a prestigious law firm. I had a recruiter contact me about the position. I'm so glad, a recruiter contacted her or him for the position. And I bet they contacted you on LinkedIn. They don't say, but I bet it was LinkedIn. You guys know I talk about LinkedIn all of the time, because I'm telling you, recruiters will reach out to you for jobs. I want people on my channel, people that watch my videos, I want them to be the ones getting contacted for sure. Okay. The recruiter sent over my resume, and the office administrator stated they would like to go forward. Oh, sorry. I'm adjusting stuff. Okay. They would like to go forward with an interview. This firm was on the 11th floor and masks were required. So they're doing in-person interviews. Okay. I had to fill out a form regarding COVID precautions. All right. I was trying not to say that word. I interviewed over 2 hours with the office administrator and the attorney. This morning I received an email from my recruiter stating they didn't believe that I was a good fit. Oh, that's sad. This is fine that I had to wait over a week for them to decide. Honestly, I had to wait over a week. Wait. Oh, okay, yeah. Honestly, it was a waste of time. I feel like a law needs to be passed where if someone calls you in for an interview, that they at least provide you with money, gas card for some sort of compensation for your gas and time interviewing with them. Going on an interview takes a lot of preparations. I do feel if you were not offered the position, it wasn't a complete waste of time. At least you was compensated for your gas and gained more experience interview. So here's my thing. I think they're just frustrated because they didn't get the job. And yes, it is a time commitment. But I mean, when you go to work, companies don't compensate you for your gas mileage. So what makes you think they're going to compensate a potential employee for their gas mileage? I think that would be nice. That'd be nice. But I mean, when you're looking for a job, that's just a commitment you have to make, you know? I really don't think companies are going to say, oh, we're going to, you know, reimburse you for your gas mileage. Now, what companies should do, I think some don't actually, is they should provide you with parking. Like once you're on the premises, you shouldn't need to pay for anything. Like if you need a water, if you want, I don't know, a lunch or something while you're on the campus, whatever, you should be provided with that. Or if it's a lunch interview, they should be providing that lunch cost for you. You shouldn't be paying for your own lunch for a lunch interview or dinner interview or breakfast interview, whatever it is. And if you have to park somewhere, let's say your interview's at a downtown location, they should be either providing parking on their campus or they should reimburse you for parking. I do not think that companies are going to be reimbursing you for gas mileage because, I mean, you're going to have to, if you go to any job, you have to transport yourself there. It's just what you have to do. Now, I get it. I get the frustration because whenever you interview and you don't get the job, it is frustrating, especially right now, like with the pandemic. I think that's probably the most frustrating part for this person. Just the fact that, you know, she had to do all of that and then the pandemic is happening and filling out this form, like that is a lot of time commitment. So I get it, but consider this too. Sometimes people take off for work as well to interview with jobs and they're not reimbursed. I mean, there's no commitment to you until, you know, unless you get the job. So I do think companies should do those little things. Like once you're on campus on the job site, you shouldn't be paying for things that you need. And then once you're like, if you're looking for parking and things, you should be compensated for that. Or if the company wants to bring you from, you know, let's say another state or from a different location, then yes, they should be paying for your travel. They should pay for your plane and all of that. But realistically, I just don't think it would be nice. That'd be cool. I would like it. Get reimbursed for going on interviews. I'd be going on all kinds of interviews just to just to see what's it about. Let me learn about your company. I want to invest in this company. Let me find out what they're about. But no, I don't think that's realistic. Cassandra said autocorrect without my permission. Exactly. Did you hear that? The disrespect. Is it still a good idea to ask for the job at the end of the interview? I'm an OG and would always say something like, I believe I'd be a perfect fit here and I'm excited to move forward with this. So at some point, you have to be careful with that because sometimes that comes across as a little obnoxious. Like I have heard hiring managers say, and they see this negatively, that the person seemed like they already had the job in the bag, right? And depending on who you're talking to, that can just be a little too much. Now, if you say it once at the end of the interview, fine. But a lot of times when that happens, the person says it multiple times. They send a follow-up and they're like, I'd be a great match for the job. I really want to, and it's just like a little too aggressive. So I would just leave it as I think I'd be a great match for the opportunity. I would, you know, be great at X, Y, and Z. I would, you know, look forward to working with you. And I look forward to hearing your decision soon or whatever. So close it out with that, but just don't be that person that's saying that multiple times. Like, yeah, and when I get this position, and this is what I will do when I start working with your company. And yeah, when do I start? And it puts the hiring team in a really awkward position, especially in those cases where they've already deemed you in their mind probably not a fit because of XYZ reason. That doesn't help. Or if they're kind of questioning if you're a fit, they're like, oh, I kind of like them. And then you do that. It could be like, I don't really like that. I don't like that personality. I don't know how they're fit with my team. If you come off as very aggressive, and I get it, you're just trying to be, proactive about letting them know how much you want that opportunity. But there is a line, right? There's a line. There's a line where it gets to be a little too much. Good question, Sharky. But in the new PC world now, is that considered too aggressive? Oh, and I just saw that. Yes, it can be a little too aggressive. Edward says we offer coffee and stale donuts. Oh my goodness. Edward says stale donuts. Oh my goodness. I don't know if people want the stale donuts now. I think I'll take the vegan donuts though. Because I still, to the earlier comment King of Kill had about the veganism, I think I will still eat vegan food. I don't think I'll be like 100% vegan. Like I'll probably incorporate eggs, honey. I'm definitely not saying I'm going back to eating chicken and beef or any of that stuff. Like I haven't done that in so long. I'd probably not eat. It probably would make me sick just to try to eat some of that stuff, So no, I don't think I'll be doing that. Okay. Oh, hey, T Jones. Welcome in. Hey, how are you? Hey, what's up? Happy Friday. Okay, we're just kind of having a little chit chat in here, and I'm answering different questions. I'm asking job related questions, and I'm asking general questions. It's just like casual chit chat. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, doesn't have to be professional, doesn't have to be job related, unless you want it to be. Feel free to put that in the comments. Oh my goodness, this person says, I need to quit. I need to quit. Let's see. Okay. See what they're talking about. All right. At my job now, construction administration, I am alone in a small house converted to an office. I will work alone for 45 hours a week and not see my boss for 3 to 4 days. I'm struggling with being in isolation for days. I have no one to ask questions to, and I can go days without seeing anyone. Asked for reduced hours to work remotely, but my boss refused. The money isn't particularly great, and I can live off savings for now. I'm doing a master's in occupational health. We are qualified in a year. Am I nuts for quitting? Oh my goodness. So, well, that is tough. Like, I get it. You're in isolation. I get that. I would say start looking for a job while you're still working that job. That would be the ideal situation. The other thing is, I would continue addressing that scenario with your boss and really understand the why. What is the reason? Because they didn't share that here. What is the reasoning of why they don't want you to work from home? Is it possible that you can do the job from home? Well, then what's the issue? And can those issues be resolved where I always like to go to what is the issue? What is the person's why? They don't have a why. They just want you to be in office just because. And then I don't like that at all. Then yeah, you definitely need to, look for another job. And I think, you're saying you have savings saved up for now, but you're working on a master's degree. If you just feel like it's not the right match for you and you can live for maybe 6 months to a year without the job and you can focus on your master's degree, it may be a good, if it's that type of work environment where you just don't feel like you can function, you can't take it anymore mentally or physically or whatever, you can quit, of course. But the best recommendation professionally, if you do still want to be working somewhere after you leave that place, would be to look for something while you're still working. That would be the ideal match because, again, to my point earlier, it's easier to get a job when you already have one. Let me see. Anthony is saying, what is with companies posting jobs that they already picked the person internally? Then you have a manager tell you privately they will come to you and give you the job you don't interview. That's interesting. So it's a big comment. So I'm going to Let me see my face. Uh, so yes, there are companies that will post jobs because they're technically, they may be required to post the job if they are looking at, if they are considering internal candidates and external candidates, then they will be posting the job externally. Most companies, what they will do if they're only looking to hire internal employees, then they will post the position internally only. So only the internal employees can do that. Now, I don't think all of the applicant tracking systems have that capability. So that may be why some companies don't do it that way, but that's what you should be doing, is posting it internally just so that internal employees can apply for the position. But I think what happens in that case where the position's filled by someone internally and it's still posted is that, one, they wanted to consider internal and external candidates. And then two, a lot of times the person hasn't started yet. So the company wants to keep that position posted just in case something happens. You know, the person changed their mind or whatever. And they keep that position up so they can keep having those applicants funnel in without closing the position yet. So it's not right. I don't agree with that, but that's the thinking behind it sometimes. That's why that happens. The power of relationships. Yes, exactly. Relationships are extremely powerful. So to your second part of the question, let me go to that. Then you have managers tell you privately they would come to you and give you the job. You don't have to interview. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. That happens sometimes. I don't think that's right either, but it does happen. It does happen, especially for companies. It will happen for companies that don't fit certain criteria under the EEOC. So if they're a smaller company, they can get away with that. Or if they don't have government contracts. If you have government contracts, you got to follow the laws of the EEOC. But if you're a smaller company, you don't have government contracts, typically you have a lot looser reins of what you can do as far as hiring. So that is why. And because they can say like, yeah, we're going to hire you. I've had those situations happen too. Like, oh, you're hired. Or this guy in New York, he was talking to me about hiring me for a project manager job. And it was like, yeah, you just meet with this guy and then you get hired. But it was a different area. It was a construction company. That is not me. That is my upstairs, just so you know. That's why I was looking up, because I was like, what is that? Anyway, Flesh just walking in the door. Okay, cool. Cool. Oh, you're listening. Okay, cool. Just listening. Great input, Anthony. Yes, thank you, Anthony. It's called politics. Exactly. Favoritism. Yeah, it's just like, I want this person hired. Yeah, that's annoying. I don't like it. So after 3 interviews and a C-19 buyout, I took the $30,000 and got a job at a company doing the same thing, less work and more benefits. Well, good for you. I'm glad that you found something. It sounds like a better opportunity for you. Yeah, okay, good. After 3 interviews, that's awesome. Congratulations, Anthony. I shall not be denied. That is awesome. When do you start? Have you already started the job? That's really cool. And what type of job was it? Sharky's saying congrats. Anthony said they got sad when I left. Then they got angry. Oh, I don't like that. A company should never get angry with someone that's leaving to get a better opportunity. 1 minute. Need to make a little adjustment. Okay, I had to adjust a little something. All right. But yeah, I don't like that whenever a company gets upset because you're leaving a job. That should never happen. You're doing what's best for you. Don't take that anyway. Like you're doing what's right for you. I would tell anybody, do what's right for you. Like, it's sad for us. It is sad when people leave, right? But it's the cycle of life. It's the cycle of life. If they want you to stay, they give you a counteroffer. Oh, you start on February. Wait, you started February 1st. Oh, okay. So you've been in the job for a while. Do you like it? Well, it sounds like you like it. So congratulations. And now I run my section. Cool. Good for you, Anthony. Well, I'm proud. That's awesome. Very awesome. Okay. So people are sending me. Okay. Let me just check Instagram for a minute because I've gotten messages on Instagram. Oh, someone's invited me to paparazzi. That's my girl. That's my girl saying thank you. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Someone talking about some velvet taco in Dallas. Okay, cool. I'm like, what are these messages? Oh, I think you know what? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I got like some requests. I'll look at this later. They kept coming up to me, different people shocked that I was leaving for 3 months. I mean, it is what it is, Anthony. I wouldn't feel any specific way about it. Just, keep the positivity, make sure you're positive about it and say, hey, better opportunity. I'd love to stay in touch with you. If you like the people, right? You can say, love to stay in touch with you. And because that's the saddest part when you leave somewhere. It's not really the job itself. It's more the people. If you worked around good people, that's always tough. But if they weren't great people, then well, just say best wishes to him and move along. But I would never say be angry or anything like that. If someone's leaving a job, it happens all the time, every day. Okay. All right. So let me go back. Let me see what else, if there's anything else I want to talk about in here. Since you guys are sticking with the job questions, I was for sure someone will ask me something random, but I did title it job questions. So I'll have to, but honestly, it was because I didn't want to create another thumbnail. I was already having challenges with trying to learn this MacBook because there's so many differences from Windows. And so, yeah, I'm trying to edit a video and I'm struggling, y'all. It's a struggle. It was supposed to be so much easier, but I need one thing, and then I think it'll be a little easier for me. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, I was looking for my package. Okay, let me go back to Reddit now. I'm playing around. I was looking for I'm expecting a package today, so kind of anxious to get my package. But it hasn't come yet, so I'm a little sad. Okay, where is it? I might have closed out of it. Oops, guys, I might have closed out of it. Oh, well, I'll just open up a new one. Okie dokie. Let's see. Oh, let me look at resume questions because I haven't gone to this one. So this person is asking, okay, they're saying, should I list Udemy? This is what it says. Should I list Udemy classes and certification for Microsoft Office 2000 on my resume? 2000? 2000? What? Why are they listing Microsoft Office 2000? They might as well just keep the 2000 off. Just say Microsoft Office certification. Like, I'll be like, that's old. Okay. Oh, they said, yeah, I know. MS Office 2000 makes me laugh too, but I was at a company where I took classes to get the advanced certification. I've been running my own pet services business the past 13 years. That's impressive. But the lockdowns killed the business. I think I can use the small business owner thing, though, to my advantage. But should I list my old MS Office certification, my Udemy courses? If so, any advice on how to add them? And my background is supply chain. This is long. What? Okay. My background is in supply chain planning. That's why MS. Look, just add them in there. I'm not reading that. I'm sorry, guys. This is literally life of a recruiter. That is literally my response when I'm looking at someone's resume that's like 4 pages long. I'm like, I'm not reading that. Just list it. Take off 2000, put Microsoft Office on there, and put any other relevant classes. So Microsoft Excel, Access, PowerPoint, list all that stuff on there. But it doesn't have to say Udemy. Just put the skill on there. Put Microsoft Office certified, Tableau certified, HTML, CSS, all this, or just certifications, HTML, CSS, because I see they're listing more than that. WordPress, HTML, CSS, theme, Tableau, Microsoft Office. Like, let's just, easy. Let me write it down though. Put up a section that says certifications, and under it, add all of those skills. You don't have to know MS Office 2000. Leave 2000 off. Okay, done. Bam. All right, let me see what's on here. Cassandra, yay, not a job question. Okay, cool. Cassandra says, are you enjoying Dallas? You're not very far from me. I'm in Houston. Oh, you're in Houston? How do you like Houston, like compared to Dallas? I'm interested in knowing that actually. But you know what? So I like Dallas. I am slowly liking Dallas more and more. At first, I did not like Dallas. And I think it was because I was just so used. I was just used to getting to New York. I was finally adjusting and everything. And then pandemic happened. So, moving here to Dallas, I immediately enjoyed the space and the amenities of the apartment. Like the cost of living adjustment is just amazing. Coming from New York, it was just like, I literally walked into my apartment and was like, the leasing girl, she thought I was completely bonkers, but I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much space. Like, I was just like, there is so much space in here. And she's just like, yeah, it's fine. And it's not like it's a ton of space, right? It's, I think 700 square foot, maybe more than that. But anyway, it's a 2-bedroom, not 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, because it's just me. 1-bedroom, it has a patio space, has the living room area. Living room's pretty nice size. Then bathroom, washer and dryer, and then closet space and everything. So, breakfast bar nook and all that, granite countertops and stuff. So anyway, I was stepping in here like, this is great. There's all this space. So that was the number one thing, just cost of living adjustment. You can get a lot more. And I went with the cheaper apartment, like to save money. So I was looking at 2 different apartments, and I think that other apartment was just bigger. And I thought about it and I was like, well, I don't even have that much stuff. Coming from New York, you live a minimalist lifestyle. Very natural to live a minimalist lifestyle. And I still have that thinking in a way, but slowly, it's hard to hang on to when you get to Dallas because everything's bigger. Everyone's like, buy, eat. Like you're eating all the time, buying all the time. There's stores, people, when you walk around, people are, depending on what area of Dallas you're in. I'm in kind of the, I don't want to say bougie, but like when you look around, the cars are just Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Lexus, like that's what you see. And then you see the plastic surgery, you just see it. So it's like, yeah. So it is harder to keep that minimalist mentality here, which I don't love. It's not walkable. It's not very walkable. Where I am is walkable, but not like New York, of course. But generally, just to get around in Dallas, it's not like you can walk everywhere or take public transit. They do have public transit here, the DART. I haven't used it. It just seems it's a little sketch, a little creepy. A little creepy. And I shouldn't say that because I haven't used it yet, but every time I look at the stops where I am, again, I'm in city, I'm just like, I don't know about that. Don't know about that. Not yet. So T Jones, I am downtown. I'm downtown. So yeah, uptown is even more bougie. Yes, I would definitely say that. So I'm like 5 minutes from uptown. So if you've seen the video where I'm on that walking trail, if you've seen that video where I'm like, hey, take a walk with me, whatever, I literally walk uptown. Like it's literally that close. So it's or like I could do it like 10-minute walk to these restaurants. Like it's that vicinity. It's downtown Dallas. So yeah, it's a little bougie. I'm by like there's a specific hotel chain here that is supposedly a little bougie. I don't know. It's by me. I won't say it just because I'm like, well, I don't want to pinpoint it exactly, but downtown Dallas. Let me see here because I'm missing comments. Whoop, whoop. Anthony said, I had never been to Houston, but I really like Dallas. Oh, cool, Anthony. Anthony says, look, like I'm the opposite. I do not go to Dallas very often. Really? Okay. You don't. I'm DFW. You are T? Oh, that's cool. Okay. You actually like Dallas, Cassandra? Yeah, I like it. It's cool. It is cool. T. Jones says, I know, right? Compared to New York. Compared to New York. If I had come here straight from the Midwest, I would have been fine. I would have not known what I was missing. Would not have known what I was missing. But now I know what I was missing. I know what I'm missing, and I'm just like, But I'm getting adjusted. I am. So Chucky said, Jessica, we would need an apartment tour at some point. I think I would make that a video. I would make that like a creative type of video when I do that. Texas was cool. Yeah, Texas is cool. Where are you from, Anthony? Where's everybody at? So we know Cassandra's in Houston. Where are you at, Anthony? T. Jones is in DFW area. Sharky is in, I know where you're at. In Canada, right? Sharky? Tejas. I missed the barbecue. I had one visiting San Antonio. Oh, San Antonio. I haven't visited there yet, but it's not very far from me at all. They do have good barbecue and food in general. See, I am just getting, some restaurants that are pretty nice, but I like the food in New York better. I do. I like the food in New York better. I like the food in Maryland, like the Maryland seafood, guys. Oh my goodness. The seafood in Maryland. Yes. Oh my gosh, it is delicious. And New York, of course. They just have some really good food. Stay away from DART. Oh, really, T? Okay, well, good. I'm glad you said that. Hold on 1 second. My trying to keep it, trying to keep the girls from saying peekaboo. All right. So yes, I will. Thank you. Because I keep wondering, people refer to the DART a lot, and every time I'm passing by it, I'm just like, I don't know. It's a little creepy, little sketch. New York had great food, museums, things to see, but I was always on guard mind-wise. Yes, you do have to be on guard because you're around so many people, so you just don't know what's going to happen. But generally, New York was safe. Generally, as I was going out and about. Now with this pandemic thing, I just don't know. Because when you take the livelihood away from people, people start doing other things to get their money. So I don't know about that. But I was there. I was there in December, so it was fine. New York had great food, museums. Yeah, yeah. Virginia, but I live in Anthony, you're in Virginia. Okay, cool. Northern Virginia. Nice. Good area. You would have to come to Houston for the barbecue. Really? I didn't know Houston was like big on barbecue. There is this place in Houston, Cassandra, that I love. It's called Taste. Is it Taste? Let me check. Let me look at it. I'm pretty sure it is. Let's see here. Yes, Taste Bar Kitchen. The Taste Bar Kitchen. Oh my God, the food. The food is. See, look at this. Look at this. Where is Paolindo? Paolindo needs to be in here. Like, y'all. And this is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I had when I was there. It was delicious. And it was vegan. I had these waffles, but I got to pick the peach flavor and the red velvet ones, and that's cauliflower. That's fried cauliflower. So it was their vegan take on chicken and waffles. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry if I'm making y'all hungry. But yeah, I need to go to Houston, y'all. I need to go. I'm just gonna go to Houston for these waffles. I'm gonna be like, look at that. Look at that, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do one more. I'm just gonna do one more for y'all. I think this one is I'm looking for the red velvet. I don't think they have a picture of it, but they have like the peach cobbler ones. And then for you meat eaters, there you go. But they don't have just that. They have they have like live music there and stuff, so you can check them out. They're just called the Taste Bar Kitchen. Cassandra probably already knows about them, but I asked a girl because I visited in 2019, and I asked her, where should I go? And she was like, you have to go to the Taste Bar Kitchen, because she moved from Houston back to St. Louis. And not really by choice, just putting that out there. She likes Houston. But she was like, you have to go to the Taste Bar. And I went there and had a great time. The food was good. The drinks were good. The music was on it. Like, the people were awesome. It was just good. It was a vibe. T. John is laughing. Jess, I'm in North. Oh, you're in New Jersey, right? Why did I say you were You know what, Sharky? I think I thought you were Canadian because of all the jokes that were happening about that Canadian actor that you supposedly look like. I think that's why I thought you were in Canada, because they were talking about something Canadian, or if he was Canadian or something. But yes, you are from New Jersey. My goodness. I'm glad to be 29 miles from DC. I will never look for a job in DC, no matter how much they pay, especially downtown. Yeah, Maryland has great seafood, and so does DC. Yeah, DC has great food in general. You know what, guys? I used to go to DC regularly to go to different events, different recruiting events there at universities, particularly Howard University. And the food, the people, the men, like, good looking people there, just good looking people. And the food was just delicious. The food was great. And just a nice, lively vibe. It was a very good difference coming from St. Louis, Missouri, we just don't have that active vibe in our downtown city of St. Louis compared to DC. So I liked it. Perhaps if someone invites me, Cassandra. Oh, hint, hint. As soon as my wife's friends ever get married, I will eventually see Houston. LOL. I'm not holding my breath on that one. Why does your wife's friend have to get married for you to go to Houston? What's up with that? Why does your friend have to get married first, or your wife's friend have to get married first? Cassandra said, Jessica, you were gonna make yourself hungry. I ate. That's the sad part about it, Cassandra. I ate food, and I'm looking at some cauliflower fried chicken and waffles. Oh my goodness, that's how good that place is, though. You have to go. Like, you just go there for me. Just go there. Order it for me. Just enjoy. Just enjoy. Come back here. Let me know what you thought of it. Taste Bar Kitchen. Like, it's that food. It was just so good. Right, the actor James Spader. Yes, exactly. We were talking about him, and so now I connected him with you, and he's from Canada. Now you're from Canada. I'm so sorry, Sharky, but you're from New Jersey. I got it. I heard the men in DC are good looking. Right, they are. They are. They're good looking. I never dated any men. I mean, like, because I would just go there for work. One time I did go there just for fun. And so that's when I saw the Air and Space Museum, and I did some other things. Like, I saw the MLK Monument. I just did other things. I didn't go to the, what is it? The African American History Museum, or I just, every time I couldn't get a ticket. So, that's been on my list to go back to the Smithsonian and visit the African American, is it History or Arts Museum? I can't remember, but yeah, I want to go there. Really want to go there. You said the right keyword, events. That's the only time. Yeah, like the events, for sure, for sure. Do not quote me on that. Only what I was told. Do not quote you. No, I agree. I will tell you. Yes, I will tell you. The men are. I mean, not every man, obviously, of course. Not every man looks that great, but in general, if we're talking generalities, like when guys say they go to Miami and all the women look nice, that's plastic surgery. Um, maybe, but the women look nice, right? In Miami. In DC, generally, the men look very attractive. Yes. Cassandra says, thank you for confirming that for anytime. Cassandra, you're too funny. I know, right? So here's the other thing I was doing earlier, and I was actually very happy to see. So I like Doja Cat and SZA. And I saw this music video. I'm not going to play the music video because I know you can't. There's certain things that you'll be reprimanded for. That's my ring light in the reflection. But this video, they actually portrayed an Asian actor, and he's very attractive. And it made me think, and I normally don't think about this, but it made me think, like, you don't typically see Asians in music videos, or even in traditional everyday television. And it actually put me in the mindset of, you know what, why don't I ever consider that? It's because I don't have to. I don't think about it. I'm not Asian. So it made me actually think about, typical white man or white woman not really recognizing how there's not a lot of Black people on television in certain spaces, right? Or there's not a lot of Black people in certain lights, in a certain role on television, things like that. And it's because they don't have to. And it's like, how do you bridge that gap? How do you make things more inclusive, or make people kind of recognize a bit more the other person's experience? Because I just considered it, because I was like, well, one, I was like, I wonder if I'm not going to play it. I'll play a snippet just so you can see the actor that I'm talking about. But yeah, you really don't have to consider it when it's not you. It's not you. There's Black people on TV. Like, we can say that there are Black people on TV, and there are Black models and things. Let me skip through here. Wait. I can't find a good one. A good little visual, because I don't want to play the whole thing. The video is super cute, though. of SZA and Doja Cat. You know, I think they're gorgeous. Oh, here we go. Wait a minute. I think he's a robot. Okay, here we go. This is not a good image. Okay, well, that wasn't really what I was trying to show. I could have tried to show more of him. But anyway, attractive Asian guy, right? But yeah, I was like, he looks nice. I don't ever really see Asian men on television, like at all. Except when it's like, what is it, Crazy Rich Asians? That's one movie I can think of. But Jackie Chan, that's Jet Li. Like that was when I was a kid, right? That's the only people I remember. Isn't that crazy? Okay, I know I'm off topic. Let me see. Most people you see in DC are not from DC, nor Northern Virginia or Maryland. A lot of transports. Okay, that makes sense. I know I am basically speaking, or biasly speaking. I don't know. Speaking being, I'm from Virginia. I think the men. Wait, hold on. Oh, sorry for typos. No worries. I just hope I can make up what you're saying. I hope the men making me look good. Oh, making you look good. I mean, I guess so. I would assume that you're a nice looking guy, Anthony, because all the men in DC, from what I could tell, were looking pretty nice. So I just put that out there. Sharky's saying, Anthony, exactly. Many in the New York City area aren't originally from there like me. Oh, yeah, I've seen that too. Definitely true. Yes, Edward. Thank you so much, Edward. Edward is always coming through here reminding people. You're such a great moderator. Thank you. Yes, please do, as you're coming in, please do hit that like button if you haven't. And then as a reminder, I posted a short 1-minute video, driving in my car, quick recruiter advice video. Please do take a look at that one. Hit the like button if you don't hate it. And I would appreciate it a ton. Well, I couldn't comment on the other man. Sharky says, yes, Asians are most definitely underrepresented in media. George Takei, Mr. Sulu from the original Star Trek, talks about that all the time. Interesting. Yeah, it's so interesting that like you, again, putting myself in like a white American, like white man, white woman's mindset, like, yeah, if I don't have to think about it, I'm probably not going to. It's not that I'm trying to, like for me, I'm not like purposely not trying to see Asian people on TV, right? It's just I've never thought about it before, you know? So it's very interesting. So how do we create spaces or reminders of what other people are, you know, other people's struggles and things? Because, you know, even, I would even say the Asian friends I've had, they haven't brought it up. But how do you bring it up? You know, and how do you bring it up to a Black person? Because it's like, you know, we've been through some things, right? So I get it. It's a lot that a lot of different groups are going through, and a lot of underrepresentation that happens naturally. Anthony says, that's not my job. Oh, man. Jessica, what states or even countries would you have loved to visit before the pandemic settled in? That's a good question. So first, the state I was planning to visit was Las Vegas, Nevada. I was going to go to Las Vegas, Nevada. And then the other place was actually going to be the Bahamas with a friend. And so that didn't happen, but still on the list. I still want to go to Las Vegas. I still want to go to the Bahamas. And some other places on my list are Fiji Islands. I would love to go there. Thailand is on my list. Ghana is on my list. Nigeria is on my list. I got a lot of places, guys. I got so many places I want to visit. I want to visit again. I want to go back to Spain. I want to go to Barcelona this time. I don't want to, because I didn't go to Barcelona for some reason. Like the 6 months I was there, I didn't go to Barcelona. And then I would like to go to Italy again, but specifically Florence. I really just only want to go to Florence because that's my favorite city. I love Florence. So I would go there. And I would like to go to Canada and Mexico. I haven't been to either of those places. I can go to Mexico now, I guess. since they're open. But yeah, I haven't been really apt to travel outside the United States right now. But I do have my new passport, so I might as well. Let me see here. Have you checked out the Asian movies on Netflix? They have some interesting movies. My wife was laughing at me because she said her students watch K-pop movies. I've listened to some K-pop music, but no, I haven't really watched Asian movies. I will tell you. Now, I will say there is this actress that I've seen in a show that I was watching. She was like one of the main characters. It was, and I talk about this movie probably a couple times, but it's called Humans. It's about AI people and their like transition to consciousness. Anthony says I like sci-fi, so I was going to watch it. You were? Okay. Well, yeah, I would watch it. I do like sci-fi too. I like sci-fi. I like really any action movies I like as well. Shaggy says, Anthony, it sounds interesting. What would be an example other than commercial stuff like Mulan? Oh, yeah, I forgot about Mulan. Yeah, you know what? There have been women. You know what? Yeah, there have been more women that I've noticed in like the media in comparison to men. I don't really typically see Asian men portrayed in media, but I'm like, some nice looking Asian men that I never really paid attention to. And then I forget too, like Indian men are technically Asian too, but when I think of an Asian man, I don't think of Indian men. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks that way. Because I normally am thinking of someone like that's from China or Japan or Korea or whatever. All these different countries, right? Anthony sounds interesting. Yep. I don't know. I'm trying to think of one though. Yeah, I do not know. Only thing I can think of is Crazy Rich Asians. Traveling is on my list as well. Where are you trying to travel to, Cassandra? Well, right now I'm trying to travel to Houston so I can get these. I didn't forget. I'm trying to get these waffles. I did not forget, y'all. Those images are still imprinted on my brain. But yeah, where are you guys trying to travel to? Oh my gosh, Japan. I would like to visit Japan. Japan is nice. I've lived there for a year in the military. My wife wants the whole family to visit Ghana so she can show the kids her family. Oh, I hear it's like this place. Oh yeah, Ghana seems nice. I have a friend, she did a study abroad in Ghana and she loved it, like loved it. So yeah, I always wanted to go there, and also Nigeria. Some of the wealthiest people in the world are in Nigeria. They're like businessmen in Nigeria, either in oil or other businesses. So that's kind of been on my radar. That's not solely why, but I just think there's a lot to offer, like a lot that African countries have to offer that we Americans don't really look at, especially Black Americans. We don't really pay attention, like my people don't. But it's just that we've been, kind of torn away from our culture. Not to say that I have Nigerian ancestry. I really don't know because I've never done a DNA test, but I would assume I'm, West Coast. That would be the biggest percentage, West Coast African. Anthony says, we also have to visit London for her sister. And, oh yeah, you never answered the question, Anthony. Why is it that your wife's friend has to get married before you can travel to Houston? I did ask that question. What was up with that? Anthony says, we have to visit London for her sister and Switzerland for her aunt. I won 2 first-class tickets at my old job to Europe. Oh, nice. That is super nice. But, the 19 dropped so we can go. Gotcha. Anthony says, have you tried the food? Food from where? Wait, who's that question going to? Just check out Aquafina. Is Nora from Queens on Comedy Central or here on YouTube. She's Chinese, Korean, American, and can be pretty funny. She was also in Crazy Rich Asians, I believe. Oh, cool. Okay, I might have to check that out. Very, very cool. Her name is Aquafina. Like, is that a play on words for the Aquafina bottled water? Cassandra says Italy. Yes. So Italy, Cassandra, definitely go to Florence. Canada, yes, it's on my list too. New York, I think you would like New York. If you like Houston, a lot of people say New York, folks normally go to Houston because it's similar. It's a little bit more similar to New York than Dallas is. So that's cool. Well, at least downtown Houston, right? Las Vegas, okay, Bahamas, Africa, more to come. We're trying to go to the same places. We need to go on the travel girls list. Get a group of people to go. But Italy, I'm game for all of those. All of those. If you're just saying that you want to go to these places too. Otherwise, you're just repeating back what I said. I mean, that's cool. Thank you for letting everybody know. But if we legit want to go to the same places, I think that's awesome. Anthony said, I don't know if she wants to go to Texas anytime soon, but her two best friends, one in Houston, the other in Dallas. Have you tried Ghanaian? Oh, Ghanaian food? No, I haven't. No, I sure haven't. I haven't even tried Ethiopian food, but I would like to. I would like to try something that I like. I'm very picky, so I don't really want to try the food in a restaurant just because, like, if I don't like something, like, I'd rather, I think, order it and then try it at home and figure out what I like, just because I don't want to be rude if I don't like something, because I am a very picky eater. Pre-vegan life, right? Pre-pescatarian life, I was a picky eater. Cassandra says, yes, that would be fun. Okay, cool. Sharky says, nice bucket list, right? She has a good bucket list. It's a perfect travel list. New York, for sure, you're going to love. I can say that for a fact. Italy, definitely. Oh, and in Italy, the men love men, from my experience there. The Italian men are very attracted to us morenas, us darker toned ladies. So and it's something they don't see very often or as often, right? So yeah, just be ready when you go to Italy for a lot of attraction, like a lot of attention, old, young, in between, like a lot of attention. There's also, when I went, I had to be pretty careful. One of my friends had this weird experience when we were in Italy. I can't remember which city we were in, but this older man came up to her and was speaking to her in Italian and like touched the bottom of her chin or something. Was like saying whatever to her and doing all this, and it was really scary. And she was by herself for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think maybe me and a friend had gone to the bathroom or something. I don't know. We went somewhere, but she was really creeped out by that. But otherwise, I didn't have that type of creepy experience. But the men go with a friend. Like, don't go there alone for sure. But yeah, just be ready. Because people are going to be like, Linda, whatever they say. And I got called Michelle Obama at the time. And I was just like, definitely not, but okay. This is in college. So yeah, I definitely want to go back to Italy though, to Florence. Yes, NYC is definitely a must-see place to go. Yes, love that. Okay, guys, I have been on here for 2 hours. Guys, you guys have been hanging out with me today. I love that. And I actually was thinking about coming on here this morning, but hey, I think I made up for it. Got on here. We had a little chit chat. Are there any other questions that you have for me before I let you guys go? And do you have weekend plans? Is someone doing something fun? Is anyone going out for drinks today? Like anything that I won't be doing this weekend? Oh, Cassandra said, Lord. She said, oh, Lord, no stalkers, please. I know, right? It was creepy. So just be careful, watch yourself. Yeah. I mean, we were really young, though. So I don't know what that man was saying to her. She has a baby face, so who knows? But when I hear someone going like this, like, that's weird. She's shorter. So who knows? That man might have thought she was a child or something. But why would you come up to a child and be Why would you go to a child and be like, da 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 da, whatever he was saying? Like, I don't know what in the world you could be possibly saying that would make that seem okay to go up to a kid and be. It's not funny, but it's like funny to just think of the thought, like the audacity of somebody coming up. I don't even know, but anyway. And then the other thing is, since you're American, just be careful because, well, you know this. If anytime you travel abroad, it's like they think America is just money bags. Like all they see is what is it? I wish I had the little thing, but they just see the money sign. It's like cha-ching goes off in their mind. And so they're going to upcharge you or try to upcharge you and get you to buy everything and anything and all that stuff too. So just beware of the scammers too. They're in Italy too. But otherwise, the Italians were cool. Lots of little things to do, things to explore, tons of history, of course. Colosseum is a must see. So going to Rome is a must. Yeah, I would say just Rome, Vatican inside Rome, and then Florence are like the ideal ones. Naples is beautiful. But if you can only go to 2 cities, I would say go to Rome, because then you can see Rome, you can see the Colosseum, you can see the Vatican, and then you can also go to Florence, which is like, I'm telling you, Florence is beautiful. And if you get a third one, I probably say either Naples or Venice. It just depends. Venice is cool just because it's like you get to say you went to Venice, you get to see the sinking city, you get to take the gondola ride and actually see, like you can see the water, like when you're in the boat or the canoe or whatever. You can actually look at the water and you see the building. It's like, it's very creepy. It's like, oh, you can see it's literally sinking. What else? And then of course, eat tons of gelato, tons of pizza, tons of seafood, tons of pasta. It's great, but it's not American style. It's different. It's very fresh, very fresh. I don't know how anybody cannot like the variations of beauty from our culture plus our smiles. It's a win. Yes, exactly. For sure. Michelle Obama. Yes, Michelle Obama. I'm just like, my face, like, we just don't look alike. But I mean, my hair at the time, I had a shorter cut. So I think my hair was maybe around here. So I think my hair looked a bit like Michelle Obama, and then I had a bang. I had a real bang. I've been thinking about getting okay, this is really getting random, but I've been thinking about getting like the struggle bangs, I've been thinking about it, but I don't know how. I don't know how to look. Great live. Thanks, Jessica. Thank you, Edward. I would have had to Chris Tucker him and knock him the heck out. Yes, right? But she's a very sweet girl. Like, I think she just like backed away from him or whatever. It was weird. But yeah, I wouldn't blame you at all, because that's super weird. Like, why do you touch someone that you don't know? I hear Germany is nice. My friend went to Germany. I had a layover in Germany. I haven't explored the city, but I would put Germany on my list, down on my list. It wouldn't be in my top 10 though. But yeah, I would explore Germany. A lot of creeps out there, no doubt. An ex-girlfriend of mine told me she was very buxom at even 14, and a 40 or 50 something guy was leering at her from across a restaurant with her parents right there. Ew, that is that is just creepy. Oh, that is gross. And it's so sad that, girls have to deal with that. And it's like, you have to deal with it at all ages. Like, all ages, and boys too. Some boys, there are men that, are creeping on little boys and things like that. So it's really sad. You do have to be very careful, especially when you're traveling. Thank you, Anthony. But yeah, I should be getting off of here. Thank you guys for the chat. Again, a reminder, real quick reminder, check out my 1-minute video that I posted today. Also, I am on TikTok, so please do add me on TikTok. My name on TikTok is Jobs from Jess, which you can see up on the screen right now. It's the same as my Instagram. And I will come on live tomorrow. I got to figure out what I want to talk about tomorrow, but I will be here tomorrow and I will have some news for you guys next week, some positive news next week. So have a lovely day. And thank you, T. Jones. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Commendable K. Appreciate you being here as well. And I will see you on the next live stream or my next video. Have a lovely evening and a great weekend. Bye.